Some Adventists think that Ellen White was a very domineering, dogmatic type of individual and that you wouldn't want to be around her. Well, let me just tell you one story about how she accomplished what she wanted, and it certainly was not a dogmatic way of going about it. If you have read Ellen White's health message, the message, that's not her health message really, the message that God gave her for this church, you know that one thing she was shown is that we should have fresh air, lots of fresh air. Especially back in the days before there was air conditioning, you should have your windows open, get fresh air. Well, she was preaching on this particular occasion, the Sabbath morning, in Healdsburg, California. And it was in the spring, and everybody was afraid if they had any fresh air, if the windows were open, they would all catch a cold and they would die of pneumonia. So all the windows were closed. But now, of course, Ellen White believed in fresh air. She slept with her windows open in her own home, and so she gets up to preach. And the elderly lady that was there that day that told me this story said, Sister White said nothing about fresh air. She just began to preach. She said after a while, she stopped in her sermon, and she said, I wonder if the deacons would mind opening the windows on this side of the church. So the deacons got up and lifted all the windows and opened the windows on that side of the church. And she said, Sister White began to preach again. After a while, she paused again. And she said, I wonder if the deacons would mind opening the windows on this side of the church. So the deacons opened the windows on that side of the church. This elderly lady told me that by the time Sister White sat down, she had every door and every window in the Healdsburg church standing wide open, but she'd never mentioned fresh air even once. Oh, she said, we all got the point, but that's the way Ellen White did it. She didn't make a big issue out of it. Just would the deacons open the windows? Would the deacons open the doors? And this lady said, I checked around and nobody got a cold. And we all had fresh air that Sabbath.